Rico. Now, this weekend, the US and the Netherlands take to the football field for the Women's World Cup final. It's set to be a fierce match, but there's another battle being fought on the sidelines, with audience figures rocketing and sponsors now clamouring to get involved. Female football players are demanding to be paid and treated the same as their male counterparts. FIFA estimates that over 30 million women play football worldwide, and the number of amateur players has increased by more than 15% over the past decade. But there are big financial discrepancies between the men and women's games. The winners on Sunday will receive $4 million in prize money. That's half of what the men's teams got last summer if they exited at the last 16 stage. And the highest paid female player, Norway's Ada Hegerberg, earns 325 times less than Barcelona superstar Lionel Messi, according to France Football magazine. But could this spectacular World Cup be a turning point for women's football? Well, let's go to Sydney to speak with Louise Evans from Women's Sport Australia. So this has been a success. I don't think anyone will argue that. How much of a turning point is it, though?
Well, I think it's going to be a big turning point. You just need to look at the ratings to see that the tournament has really inspired a lot of people around the world to tune in. And there's reasons for that. The tournament, the World Cup, has been shown in a lot of countries on free-to-air platforms. It's been shown televised in or re-televised in prime time. And of course, the women's game has grown a lot in professionalism. So, you get to see a really fantastic world-class game. And women's sport, as you rightly pointed out, is on the rise. And then another factor, of course, is patriotism. When your team's playing, of course, you want to tune in. And all those factors have played in to really push the World Cup up into the ratings. And it's experiencing some of the best ratings, not only for a sporting tournament, but for broadcasters across their suite of programs.
Louise, a part of the problem for women's football is that the men's game is so huge. The sums of money involved are so vast. The business, the sponsorship, the audiences, that the women's game, by comparison, will never get, or will it ever get there? Will it ever get to that scale, and therefore the players being paid the same as the men?
It's certainly getting there. As you rightly point out, the disparity is huge. But there's a lot of movement on at the moment. The women, as you pointed out, in the US are in the final. They're actually in court at the moment, taking their sporting federation to court over pay parity. And they're not just arguing for money, they're arguing for all those other things that male athletes take for granted. Sports medicine support, access to training facilities, access to good equipment, support in the administration and the promotion of the games. All those markers, so not just pay, but all those other markers are things that they're arguing for. And the world's best player, Ada Hegerberg from Norway, who you mentioned before, she's not even at the World Cup because she hasn't played for her country, for her federation, since 2017. And the reason for that is pay and what she calls respect. So there's a lot of movement around, a lot of protest, and there's court action. And also now there's political action. Because the World Cup is on, people are engaged, a lot of people are watching. The politicians are coming in and saying, this isn't good enough. Why are the women being paid so less? Why are they being treated so poorly? And the people who are watching too, mums and dads, if they have a fantastic little football player, in their family, they want career pathways for her. They want a living wage for her. So they're also on board. So there's a push from the grassroots right up to politicians who are pushing for a change.
We will see how much change is affected by this World Cup. Louise Evans, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.